fantastic. So I've started the broadcast. Just give it a moment or two. I see people are already joining into the session. Fantastic. Hello, everyone. We're just going to give it a moment or two as everyone joins in. Just before we get started, though, do make sure if you have any questions at all throughout today's session, do please feel free to use the Q&A box at the bottom of the Zoom call. You can use that to ask any questions, and at the end of the session, we'll ask those to our wonderful guests today. Oh, fantastic. I see loads of people coming in. Brilliant. So I think we'll get started. So hello and welcome back to iSpy 360's webinar series. I am your host, Frederick, and today I'm over the moon to be joined by Paul May, who is a resident of Las Vegas since 1993. He initially came to Las Vegas originally as a performer on the Strip. Now, for 5 years, Paul worked at the MGM Grand in the MGM Grand's original spectacular stage show, EFX. He was the understudy for David Cassidy, Tommy Tune, and Rick Springfield, as well as a supporting character in the show. He started his real estate career backstage, assisting employees on the MGM to rent, buy, and sell real estate. Now, after retiring from show business, Paul continued with his real estate career full time. 20 years and over 1,500 plus real estate transactions later, Paul has been serving clients in Las Vegas and the Henderson area. Now, a former corporate broker and partner who operated Keller Williams Realty Southwest, Paul is now the team leader and broker salesperson of the most innovative real estate company in the United States, eXp Realty. Now, Paul, I'm over the moon to have you with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Frederick. It's a pleasure to be here. And I understand we have something in common, that you also are a thespian.
Yes. So I actually worked, for everyone watching, I've previously worked in theatre as well. So me and Paul, we both know the stage, we know the sort of everything that goes behind the scenes. And it's funny how we've both ended up choosing real estate and sort of working inside this field.
Absolutely. And you know what, when it comes to real estate, what I have learned from theater is every time you have a listing presentation or you want to meet with a buyer, it's like an audition.
Definitely.
It's absolutely like an audition. You need to have your resume prepared. You need to have your training and your skills prepared. And then you just put yourself out there and hopefully your audition gets you the job.
Exactly. So what was it that made you decide to choose real estate of all things?
Well, quite frankly, in the daytime, I was bored. And my wife was also a performer in shows with me. She was in EFX with Michael Crawford. He was the original star, one of your, famous Phantom of the Opera in England. He was a comedian, and I didn't realize this until I did some research. He was in apparently a very popular sitcom in London called Some Mothers Do Have 'Em. Is that correct? Yeah. Have you ever seen? But probably that show ended before you were born, I bet.
Yes, I've caught a few reruns. It's something.
Yes,
it's on Netflix US. You should check it out. It's good
I will. I've never actually seen the show, but I heard about the show. But he was the star first, and then yes, I had the opportunity to go into the show. And David Cassidy, I was a big fan of his, and I was his understudy, and Rick Springfield too. So yes, the performing aspect. I did. I was pretty tired from 1998 to 2003. I would sell real estate in the day, and I would run into the show backstage and do a show at night. And when you're getting started in real estate, typically everyone has a previous job, and so I was lucky enough to have a job that was at night, so I could sell real estate in the day. And I had a built-in referral base, a built-in sphere. All the fellow performers that I worked with, that's where I started my real estate career. So it was a great way to get into real estate still. And everybody should obviously have some income set aside when they're getting into real estate to be able to wait for those first commission checks. But I have to tell you, I'm so happy that you invited me to this webinar, because one of the tools that I have been utilizing on a regular basis is iSpy 360. And what it does for new agents helps set them on the same level as an experienced agent, because they're utilizing technology that others do not use, do not know about. I can tout, probably I was one of the first users of iSpy 360 in Las Vegas.
Incredible. And how have you found it using the platform?
I love it. I love the ease of use as far as utilizing the program, as far as going out to a property, utilizing the images,
Mm,
and just with a iPhone
mm,
11. I mean, iPhone 11 Plus. There's a lot of obviously competition out there, but a lot of it's expensive,
mm,
and you can't do it yourself. With this iSpy 360 virtual tour, you can absolutely do it yourself.
mm.
It's so easy. And my son, who is also a thespian, he's a performer. He was performing all over the country. Unfortunately, he's back here now because he used to travel around and teach music in schools. And now he's my iSpy 360 virtual tour photographer. And some of the agents that are part of EXP who are, a little reticent about doing the tours themselves, he'll run out, for a few quid and do the images, and then you basically upload them. And because you guys are in London, if I upload in the afternoon, I have it the next day, typically, as far as the tour itself. And the interactive quality of iSpy 360 is something that I really appreciate. The fact that you can actually chat with an individual, with a client within the tour itself. That's something that's different from a lot of the other tours. I don't know, if any of the other tours do it, but when I saw that feature, I saw iSpy 360 virtual tour that was done through Workplace. We have what's called Workplace, the Facebook for work through EXP. And I saw an agent in New Orleans had done a fantastic tour utilizing iSpy 360. And I called him and I actually had a chat with him within the tour. I was like, dude, this is awesome. What is this? How do I get? He's like, it's one of the new products that is being offered through EXP. And I jumped on it.
And that's it. I've seen some of your tours and they're absolutely brilliant how they use information labels. They're linking up to other properties. So you're really sort of using all of the features inside the platform to really just
Yes.
showcase everything in your catalog rather than just that one property.
Absolutely. Would you like me to show you a little bit of what I do with
Oh, yes,
iSpy
please.
360?
Yes, that's
Okay. I'm
wonderful.
going to go ahead and share my screen with the audience here. Let me see here. Okay. So this is a landing page that I created. Are you seeing the landing page okay, Frederick?
Well, it's not come up for me yet. Have you clicked
Okay.
the, oh no, here we go. Yes, yes, there we go.
Okay. Maybe it's a little bit of a delay going across the pond.
Uh,
So this is a landing page that I've created to feature the homes that we list, a special landing page. Everybody has a search site. And of course, I have the search site built into this landing page, but I have it linked to various landing pages. And obviously, with what we're experiencing right now, open houses are limited. In fact, in Nevada, I believe we've gone back to saying they're not allowed. I have to check. It changes every week.
mm,
But for quite frankly, since I've had the iSpy 360 virtual tours, I've been doing online virtual tours and I've been sharing them live on Facebook, live on YouTube. And here, as I scroll down, here's the start of the virtual tours right here. And what I do is I take an image of a professional photographed image. I use what's called the trifecta of marketing to market my sellers' properties. I use iSpy 360. I also use high definition photos. And I also use video, the trifecta of marketing. HD photos, video, and iSpy 360 virtual tours. Three different ways for a potential buyer to see the properties that I have listed. And that's what I utilize in my listing presentation. Mr. Seller, we're not just going to take a few photos with an iPhone and throw it on the MLS. We're going to do the trifecta of marketing. We're going to do high definition photos, of course. We're going to do video, and we're going to utilize an amazing tool called iSpy 360. And let me show you how that works. So then what I do is I click, for instance, this property right here is one of my only properties that are still available, quite frankly. But this one right here, 8717 Leeward, I sold this property through iSpy 360 virtual tours without this buyer ever actually coming to see the home.
Wow. Incredible.
Yeah.
How did they find it, the buyer?
Well, I shared it online with the listing agent because he had ultimately seen the property. He went in and videoed the property. Yes, you know, he was doing the legwork because the buyer was out of state in like Wisconsin. And I said, hey, look, since you have a relationship with your buyer, share the virtual tour with him. It'll give him a really good idea of what the property looks like. And then, you know, ultimately what you can do is, you know, share the tour, and up in the top left corner, there's a guided tour. You can click that, and it's Paul May recording a tour of the property. But as you can see, this is a very nice, it's a very nice property. They did an amazing job with the kitchen. It's an upgraded home. This home was built in the 1980s. So as you can see, the kitchen was a real selling piece of the property. As you go to the backyard, you know, really nice. Vegas is a desert, but this is in an area called the Lakes, and ultimately a really nice, tranquil backyard with some mature trees and nobody directly behind you. And so, you know, ultimately the buyer was able to get a feel of the home by utilizing the iSpy 360 tour, and he made an offer. He made an offer $10,000 above list because he loved it so much.
Wow. That's
So we
incredible.
sold this property utilizing the virtual tour. And quite frankly, this isn't the only property that I've sold recently without the buyer actually coming to the home. I sold another property. Let's see if I click back here. This one on Hambledon Hill, as I go back down here. Let's see. And excuse me, I need to turn it from Spanish to English. Okay, so right here, this property, let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, here's another beautiful property. This one went into contract also. But here, I'll take the time, Frederick, and share with the audience the cool features that are different with iSpy 360 as opposed to regular virtual tours. It's something that you and I shared. As you can see, everyone, you have the ability to put links into the virtual tour. So basically what I do when I'm telling a seller that I do the trifecta of marketing, obviously I can show them this is the interior of the home and here's the family room and all of that. And I can share with them the virtual tour itself. But if we go back to the front of the home and click the front, you get a nice view of the you know, the street itself. You know, you just get a feel for what the neighborhood looks like. And what I do here is I also implement, let's say they want to see photos. Well, I have a link that goes directly to the high definition photos of the property, and they are able to see, you know, the photos as opposed to the virtual tour. Now, you know, quite frankly, maybe people want to just see pictures sometimes. So, you know, we build in the ability for them to see it in 3 different ways. We go back to the tour itself. You click here. This is a video that you can build in. I create moving videos. Let's see here. I can show just a little bit of it. You know, I basically, this beautiful home located at, let me turn it down. There we go. So I have the tour built in. I take a few passing shots with video, and then I incorporate the high definition photos into the video, and it gives the buyer the ability to see a video. If they are, not necessarily looking for a 6-bedroom home that's 3,000 square feet, that's listed in the 500s, I have the ability for them to click this link, which goes to my KV Core website. Oops, sorry, that one had a little bit of a problem there. I'll have to figure out what that is. But the other thing, oh, I know, I need to put HTTP on the end of it. That's
Yes.
something I needed to do. I will fix that, Frederick. But here, if it was still available, they could see the info.
Mm.
The property is in contract now. Maybe they might be able to see it because I basically created what's called a under contract show.
Mm.
So if the property is still available to be shown, it goes directly to the link and it shares the information as far as the pricing and all of that. And then finally, I do what's called cross marketing. They might be looking at something else or looking for something different. So I have all my other I Spy 360 virtual tours built into this that go directly to a landing page. And the landing page is my virtual open house tour page, where I actually will do, quite frankly, in a Zoom, recorded or live, I will share with my potential, people. Now, we've been in the business for a long time, so we have like 3,000 people that are in my Facebook business page. So I will then share with them all of the properties we currently have available. And this cross sells the properties that we list and connects them to other properties that they can see.
Mm.
There we go. That's it.
Absolutely. I love this system. I love how you use the information labels. It's a brilliant way to make sure, actually, if someone's just looking for a home in Las Vegas, they can find all of those properties through just one tour. It's really
Absolutely.
inspired. I love it. Now, I want to ask
Yeah.
you a few more questions about your career.
Oh,
Just
sure.
sort of, what changes have you seen in real estate throughout your career?
Well, obviously, like I mentioned, the technology portion of it, we are now, and obviously, based upon what we're experiencing, you have to utilize technology to be above and beyond your competition.
Mm.
And as a result of utilizing this type of technology, you can sell a home to someone without them ever coming through the front door until you give them the keys when they show up. you know Now people are going to ultimately want to come and see the home in person typically, but this gives them a very good idea of what the property looks like. And quite frankly, it eliminates the people that are not interested and just has the people that are interested based upon viewing the virtual tour. They come in and they ultimately want to see the home and want to touch it, feel it, smell it. The only thing you don't have on Ice by 360 is a scratch and sniff.
Not yet. Who knows? With
Not
virtual reality
yet.
these days, it could be our 2021 feature.
Right. So I would say that technology is key.
Mm.
And one of the things I can share with you is this is not only a great way to market your home, but it's a great way to show sellers that you're going above and beyond. And so when I go on a listing presentation, one of the first things I show, besides a quick little video of the May team and what we do and how we do it, because quite frankly, a lot of the listing presentations I'm doing nowadays are in a Zoom like this. I there have been a number of properties that I've listed first by doing an online listing presentation. So I will then share the virtual tour in the online listing presentation, which is obviously, it's a wow factor. But when I'm actually at the home, I'll pull up the iSpy 360 virtual tour. I'll have my lovely wife, Jennifer, at home at the kitchen table, standing by, and I show them the chat feature of iSpy 360. I'll click the link. My wife will come up and say, "Hi, this is Jennifer with the May team. How can I help you?" "Oh, hi, Paul." Yeah, and basically, I'm sharing with the listing agent, sorry, with the seller, that we actually have created, to overcome social distancing. We are now have the ability to connect within the virtual tour, not only on a computer, but also on your phone. So those are the kind of things that I think really set agents apart, is when you take that extra step to basically, quite frankly, I like the fact that, we do more than the ordinary average agent. And quite frankly, when you're sharing in a listing presentation, you can just go into the MLS typically, and you can show 5 properties, and the first 5 properties will have, you know, horrible photos. The other agents that don't do this type of technology are basically making us look so much better. And quite frankly, you could probably pull up a list of properties in that seller's neighborhood and show the difference between an agent that really cares about marketing and an agent that might have listed one home in their life and they used a iPhone and they took dark pictures. That's not the way to do it, but that's a great way to show that you're different than than other listing agents.
No, I 100% agree. It's true. And also, it helps reassure your buyers and your sellers that you're really taking care of them throughout the process. And you're giving them everything they need to get that property sold.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, marketing is key. And ultimately, we pride ourselves on, with the high definition photos, with video, with the iSpy 360 virtual tour, we can show clients that we are getting their home more prominently displayed on online portals like Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. We can actually show them the results of that we've gotten more views on your property than the other home. You're number one on this portal right now. And as a result of the technology and the taking that extra step to really market the home, that allows you to get more listings.
Now, I want to ask you, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing the real estate industry at the moment?
Well, quite frankly, right now in Las Vegas, the real estate market is booming as far as there's limited inventory. So it's still a very robust market. As far as challenges, there's always different types of models that will eke in, and you just have to, find ways to be competitive. You have a lot of outside forces of companies like Open Door, OfferPad, all of these companies that are coming in and trying to, quite frankly, cut out the listing agent and sell the homes directly. What you have to do is you have to show your value. You have to show the seller that, hey, you might think that this is the way to go, but let me show you that with utilizing our services, you will net so much more money than going the quick and easy, convenient way of selling your home for cash. I don't know if those type of companies have made their way across the pond, but that's something that we as agents are competing with. We'll buy your home for cash, quick, convenient, but what they don't share is, look, we're going to take a lot of your money and a lot of margin to do that. So the key as a listing agent is to show them, this is what you'll probably net with this particular company. And by all means, I work with them. I have sold properties to those type of companies for sellers that wanted a quick move. But if we utilize this technology and put it out to the open market, you're going to get so much more activity and probably sell your home for at or above list based upon what's going on in the market. So you just have to convey that to the potential seller that, yes, there are competitors that will offer you cash, but I would say, the different models and the different types of companies that have come into the marketplace, that's our competition, and it's always changing.
Certainly. Now, I know you're very sort of a connoisseur of technology and how to use it to sell property. Are there any
Sometimes I get myself in trouble because I love the shiny object, but right now, I mean, iSpy 360 is my shiny new object that I've utilized for past months, since I've been with EXP and I came across it. But yes, I'm sorry, go ahead, continue.
No worries. Are there any other tools that you use to sort of help the property selling process?
When it comes to tools, I would say, just marketing it with high definition photos, virtual tours, video. We utilize pay-per-click advertising on Facebook. A cool thing about EXP Realty is we have some built-in components on the back end that we can just click a button and we can promote our properties, and they will, blast out the properties to Facebook and Google pay-per-click advertising. Those are things that we utilize to generate buyer leads with the listings that we have. So I would say that's some of the things that I utilize in addition to marketing a property. And then quite frankly, I use a dialer. I use a program called the Red X. That's something that I'm very, used to. There's a lot of different programs out there, but we will do at least 2 hours a day of lead generation, FSBOs for sale by owners, expires for rent by owners. That's a big thing right now, because it gives you a list of properties of landlords. And quite frankly, that is one thing that's coming down the pike in Nevada. 198,000 homes are currently not paying a mortgage or paying rent. So you always have to be ahead of the game. So you need to reach out to those individuals and let them know that you're available to help them, because quite frankly, they might need to sell to get the equity out of their home and kind of restructure their lives to get past through these difficult times. So I would say, you just have to continually take training, be educated, and, get ahead of the other agents that are basically quite frankly, during the holidays, figuring out what are we going to have for lunch today. And, let's wait till next year. Don't wait. Contact the people that you can help for 2021.
Yeah.
So,
Especially now, just before Christmas, because actually, as soon as Christmas hits, everything shuts down for 2 weeks or so. And you really want to be able to help people before that time hits, so they're not having difficulties when actually they should just be spending time with their families.
Absolutely. I mean, right now it's a key time to say, hey, look, with the expireds, I see that your home didn't sell recently. And, you might not want to just start. We could start the process of marketing your home by doing everything that's needed. And if you're not, quite frankly, ready to do it this year, January 1, we'll have the marketing ready and we can go full bore and potentially be the second agent that truly sells your home this time.
Certainly, yes. Now, my last question for you before we move on to our audience questions is, what do you see real estate looking like in about 10 to 15 years time?
Gosh, I'm one to focus on the now, but in 10 years from now, gosh, Frederick, that's a great question. I would say, and quite frankly, I don't know if some of the people that are watching are with EXP or with different models. You always want to be ahead of the game. I'm excited about this company that I'm part of, because we are truly expanding in a international fashion. We just opened Mexico today, and I have the ability to communicate with Frederick in England, and we have agents that are joining our brokerage and our franchise, our brokerage. We're not a franchise, through in England, Australia. I think the connectivity is going to just increase throughout the years, and being involved in a brokerage that is doing that online, virtually, cutting edge technology, I think it's just going to continue to expand. Maybe at some point in 10 years, we'll be able to teleport into a house and walk in. Who knows?
3D projection, you're in a room and you can just walk through it.
Exactly. I mean, I have my Oculus right here, and I haven't utilized that. I haven't utilized it. I assume that you can view an iSpy 360 tour using an Oculus Go, right?
So I believe you can with most VR headsets.
Okay.
I believe Oculus have recently released an update, so they've changed their browser. So I think our team are working on building it so we're compatible with their new browser as well. But you should definitely be able to very soon with the Oculus.
Well, let me know, because I would like to play with it and see what it looks like. Maybe I'll take the Oculus on a listing presentation once the technology meets with each other.
Definitely. Now, I see we've had a few questions in from our audience. Would it be all right for me to ask you some, Paul?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Fantastic. So our first question is, what advice would you give to an agent starting out now?
Well, I would say for a brand new agent, My mantra as a mentor, I'm a broker with eXp Realty here in Nevada. I'm also a mentor. So I conduct weekly masterminds with my mentees to share my 23 years of experience in real estate. And the one thing that I say is your database is key. Take every phone number that you have in your iPhone and basically, download it into an Excel spreadsheet, a CSV, and upload it into a CRM and start to connect with the people you know and like, that know and like you, that want to do real estate. Start with the people that you know. And 20 conversations a day. If you have 20 conversations, now what's a conversation? It could, nowadays it's in a text, it could be in a Facebook message, it could be in a Zoom, it could be in a video. Have at least 20 conversations a day with your sphere of friends, and you might not necessarily be talking about real estate, but at that point and at the end, it's an old Columbo, and I'm sure you're not familiar with the Columbo because it's an old television show.
I
You
am
say,
actually.
oh, are you
Yes,
really?
I've seen one
Okay.
or two episodes of Columbo.
Yes. Well, basically it's, oh, by the way, if you know anybody that's interested in buying or selling a home, Mary, would you be so kind to choose me as the agent to help them? And Mary would say yes. And Mary, by the way, here's a link to my media page. I'm not sure if you have it already or not, but here it is. And please save it as a favorite and share it with friends. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already received it, let me go ahead and set you up with this free online evaluation tool. I use a couple of different evaluation tools. In Las Vegas, we have a free tool that agents can use called eProperty Watch. I also use a program called HomeBot. You give an item of value in the final conversation to basically give them, a free automated home valuation to stay in touch on a monthly basis. And as you start to do that, you start to build your database of sellers, and they're getting the free home evaluation. And then you follow up and say, but quite frankly, nothing is as good as a personalized evaluation. And when you're ready, let's do a Zoom. Let's do a Zoom consultation, and let me go over a micro determination of value based upon your subdivision and a macro determination based upon the competition that is out there. And let's really kind of fine tune and determine a price when you're actually ready to sell. That's when I'll do a personalized evaluation. Or if they're curious right now, I'll do it now. And I'll say, if we can get you the highest possible price, if we can get you the right price for your home, would you consider selling now? Those are the kind of conversations you have. 20 of those a day, and you as a new agent will ultimately be successful in real estate. Don't be a secret agent, be a real estate agent.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant advice. Now, our next question from the audience is, if you could go back in time in your career, what would you do differently?
I would focus more. As a performer, I'm all over the place, Frederick. And I still, to this day, find myself, oh, squirrel, focus, schedule 2 hours a day of lead generation time. And quite frankly, sometimes I need accountability. I highly recommend, when I was in real estate, because of the fact that I had the ability to do real estate in the day and perform at night, I wasn't so stressed about money because I had a good job that was paying me. And then I slowly made my way into real estate. But that's not necessarily the case for everyone. Everyone, you definitely need to have some funds set aside as a new agent, because that first paycheck, and don't rely on that first paycheck. You need to continually focus on getting new business. Having 10 listings, you're going to have an inventory. Focus on listings, focus on the listing side, because listings will beget buyers. I was a buyer's agent at the very beginning, and that's quite frankly what most agents are. But if you can start focusing on generating listings, then you'll have a steady income because you'll have inventory that you know if you have it priced correctly. The four things when it comes to selling a home: the location, condition, price, and marketing. The seller controls the first three. We control the marketing.
Mm.
And so, basically, if you have that inventory, then you know you're going to potentially have a paycheck down the line in the next 30 to 45 days. Whereas with buyers, it takes more time. The amount of hours that it takes to take out a potential buyer, as opposed to the amount of time it takes to take a listing, is so much less. So the highest and best use of your time is to focus on starting to get into listing homes. And then you can slowly start to create a team of showing agents and leverage your time and leverage what you do as an agent. But I would say, short answer, focus 2 hours a day, 20 conversations a day at least, and start to focus on your listing inventory as a new agent.
Yes, no, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Our next question is, do you think virtual reality will play a part in real estate in the future?
Absolutely. I think virtual technology is absolutely, giving us the ability as agents to, show value. Quite frankly, I mean, the fact that I get to utilize this technology and sell homes to potential buyers on the East Coast, in Texas, it's going to continue to even evolve from here and embrace the technology. Absolutely. It makes you set yourself apart from other agents who don't embrace technology.
Mm, definitely. And our last question, I think this is a brilliant question, a good one to end on, is what was your favorite thing about showbiz and performing?
Well, here, I'll see if I can share this with you. When I was here, I'm going to pull this up and I can share it on the screen here. I don't know, did you have Century 21 in across the pond in
Yes, I know them.
Okay. Well, back then, ultimately, that when I was a kid, my father was in real estate in the 80s, and Century 21 was, the one of the beginning franchises back then. And so you always saw the yellow jacket, right?
Mm.
Well, I don't know if you can see this, but this was my outfit when I originally started in real estate. Can you see it,
Yes,
Frederick?
yes, I can. Oh,
This was what I was wearing when I was selling homes backstage. It's called the Master of Time. It's a very futuristic costume. That was me 35 pounds ago, but it was quite funny that I was conducting real estate in that outfit. And as far as my performing career, one of the awesome. I performed for Disney for 5 years. Loved working for Disney. I performed in my younger days. That was so much fun. I started to audition for Broadway, but a producer in Broadway brought me to Vegas, and I love Las Vegas. And I do miss it. I miss the ability to get up there and just sing and perform. And but I carry that into real estate, and it's like an audition, right?
mm,
So but one of the moments that really defined my career was David, in the EFX show. He
mhm.
fell and hurt himself.
I know.
And I know that you when you're doing a performance, Frederick, normally you have a few rehearsals, right, before you actually have the actual show.
Yes.
Well, because this show was an automated behemoth,
Mm,
it took hundreds of people to run the show.
mm,
uh I never actually had a rehearsal, and they asked me to go on the next day for the star. And quite frankly, my adrenaline was racing because I knew where he needed to be on stage. I
mm.
didn't have any idea where to go backstage, but I rose to the challenge
Mm,
and I jumped on and I did the show, and without a rehearsal, which I got to tell you was just a frightening but
Mm,
adrenaline rush experience at the same time. So that was a really a highlight. And just, performing throughout the years with just fantastic performers, singers, and dancers, theater people, God bless them. Right now they're, not able to perform, and please support anybody that you seeing doing theater shows online. I know we're trying to do some sort of technologies and shows online.
mm,
I can't wait till we get back to normalcy and get to go
mm,
see a Shakespearean play, or a musical, or, that's what I do miss. But
mm,
I love that part of my career, and quite frankly, I miss it. And maybe one day I still do civic theater here and there, and, just jump out of my
mm.
comfort zone and do that. But, now real estate is my life. But there's other aspects that you can do with performing, and this is one of them.
Well, that's it. Skills are so interchangeable. I think something that everyone can do is just look at your wheelhouse, think, what can I bring? What can I offer? Whether it's theatre, whether it's something you've learned over the years, whatever it is, and just apply that, because everything really can be switched around. Because at the end of the day, it's all about teamwork, being able to speak to other people, and just bringing everything you can to help other people. And actually, whatever you
Absolutely.
have, that will do the trick.
I completely agree, my friend.
Well, until we see you in the EXP musical uh, on the Las Vegas Strip, Paul, thank you so much for coming along today. It's been wonderful having you. I think it's been super informative. I think everyone's loved having you along as well in the audience. Thank you. It's been a joy.
Thank you, Frederick. I really appreciate you having me. It's been brilliant.
Yes. Well, everyone watching, thank you so much as well for coming along. It's been great having you. We will be back again on Friday for our Future Friday session, where we're going to be talking about cities of the future. So that will be a really sort of exciting session. So do make sure to come along to that. Otherwise, please do stay safe and stay healthy out there, and have a really wonderful rest of your day. Until next time, keep it 360. Thank you very
Happy
much.
holidays.
Yes, and happy holidays. Okay, bye.